In late February 2026, deep inside the heavily guarded Arnold Engineering Development Complex in Tennessee, the United States Air Force successfully completed one of the most critical hardware tests of the 21st century. But they weren't testing a sixth-generation stealth fighter or a new hypersonic glide vehicle. They were running high-altitude, extreme-stress distortion tests on a commercial jet engine. Why? Because that engine, the Rolls-Royce F130, is the new beating heart of a warplane that first flew when Harry Truman was president. The Air Force has officially signed a multi-billion-dollar contract with Boeing and Rolls-Royce to execute a total heart transplant on the B-52 Stratofortress, ripping out its 8 antique smoke-belching engines and replacing them with modern, digitally controlled turbofans. Along with a radical new fighter-grade AESA radar, this overhaul is so extreme that the Pentagon is officially renaming the aircraft. The B-52H is dead. Enter the B-52J. By the end of this briefing, you will understand the exact engineering behind the Rolls-Royce F130, why the military is stripping Super Hornet radar technology to put inside a 70-year-old bomber, and the terrifying payload math that guarantees this 100-year aircraft will be the apex predator of the Pacific until the year 2060. Fasten your seatbelt. We are stripping the B-52J down to the bolts. To understand why the Pentagon is spending nearly $50 billion to upgrade an aircraft that literally fought in Vietnam, you have to look at the cold, hard geometry of global strike logistics. The United States currently operates a triad of heavy bombers: the B-1B Lancer, the B-2 Spirit, and the B-52. You would assume the stealthy B-2 or the supersonic B-1 would easily outlive the lumbering B-52. You would be wrong. The Air Force is actively preparing to retire the B-1 and B-2 in the 2030s. Their maintenance costs are staggering, their mission-capable rates are notoriously low, and their airframes are highly fatigued. The B-52, however, is a masterpiece of unadulterated over-engineering. Built in the 1950s and 60s before computer-aided design optimized every millimeter of metal to save weight, Boeing engineers simply built the B-52 too strong. Its massive, flexible wings and heavily reinforced aluminum fuselage have essentially unlimited structural life. It is a flying warehouse that can carry 70,000 pounds of ordnance, from precision-guided JDAMs to massive nuclear-tipped cruise missiles. But while the bones of the Stratofortress are immortal, its organs were dying. The primary crisis was the engines. Every B-52 currently flying is powered by 8 Pratt & Whitney TF-33 low-bypass turbofans. These power plants were designed during the early days of the Cold War, and Pratt & Whitney literally ceased production of the TF-33 in 1985. For the last 40 years, Air Force maintainers have been keeping the B-52 fleet in the air through cannibalization, scavenging parts from dead bombers rotting in the boneyard at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. By 2020, the supply chain hit a critical failure point. The TF-33s were burning oil at an alarming rate, taking thousands of feet of runway to generate enough thrust for a heavy takeoff, and requiring thousands of man-hours to inspect and rebuild. If the engines weren't replaced, the entire B-52 fleet would be permanently grounded by 2030, leaving the United States with a massive capability gap while waiting for the new B-21 Raider to enter mass production. The Air Force needed a solution, and they needed it fast. They launched the Commercial Engine Replacement Program, or CERP. The mandate was simple: find a highly reliable, fuel-efficient commercial engine, militarize it, and bolt 8 of them onto the wings of the Stratofortress. The winner of the CERP contract was the Rolls-Royce F130. This isn't an experimental military prototype. It is a heavily modified variant of the BR-725 commercial plant, the exact same power plant that flies on the ultra-luxurious Gulfstream G650 business jet. But don't let its civilian origins fool you. The F-130 was chosen because of a metric the military values above all else: time on wing. In the commercial aviation sector, an engine that breaks down costs millions of dollars in lost revenue. Therefore, engines like the BR-725 are designed to run for tens of thousands of hours without ever needing a major overhaul. The F-130 family has accumulated over 27 million flight hours across civilian and military fleets. When Boeing and Rolls-Royce finish installing these engines on the B-52, the Air Force expects they will literally never need to be removed for the rest of the aircraft's lifespan. It is a one-and-done, permanent fix. But the physical hardware is only half the story. The true upgrade is digital. The old TF-33s relied on archaic hydromechanical throttles. The pilots physically pushed levers that connected to cables, which mechanically opened fuel valves. It was a 1960s analog system. The F-130 brings the B-52 into the 21st century with FADEC, Full Authority Digital Engine Control. FADEC means the B-52's new engines are entirely managed by redundant computers. The pilot simply requests a specific thrust output, and the FADEC computer instantly calculates the exact fuel mixture, air pressure, and turbine speed required to achieve that thrust with maximum efficiency. This completely eliminates the massive plumes of black smoke the B-52 is famous for on takeoff. It also vastly improves the bomber's fuel economy. And fuel economy is the ultimate weapon in the Pacific theater. If a conflict breaks out over Taiwan or the South China Sea, the tyranny of distance becomes the United States' biggest enemy. A B-52 taking off from Guam or Andersen Air Force Base requires massive amounts of aerial refueling from KC-135 or KC-46 tankers to reach contested airspace and return. Those large, slow tankers are highly vulnerable to enemy long-range air-to-air missiles. By integrating the Rolls-Royce F130s, the B-52J will see an estimated 20 to 30% increase in fuel efficiency. This drastically increases the bomber's unrefueled combat radius. It means the B-52J can fly deeper into the Pacific, loiter on station for hours longer, launch its standoff hypersonic weapons, and return to base without ever needing to link up with a vulnerable tanker. In strategic terms, the F-130 engines don't just make the B-52 cheaper to fly, they make the entire United States Air Force strike package more lethal and significantly harder to intercept. In late February 2026, Rolls-Royce successfully cleared the F-130 altitude and operability testing. They blasted the engines with distorted, turbulent air to simulate extreme combat maneuvers and high-altitude weather anomalies. The F-130 didn't flinch. Test engines are currently slated for delivery in 2027 to begin physical flight testing on 2 modified airframes, backed by a massive $2 billion integration contract. Giving the B-52 new lungs and a new heart is incredible, but to survive in the modern electronic battle space, the old bomber needed extreme eye surgery. For decades, the B-52 has relied on the AN-APQ-166 radar, a mechanically scanned rotating dish system developed in the 1980s. It was heavy, prone to breaking due to constant moving parts, and completely obsolete against modern electronic warfare jamming. Enter the AN-APQ-188. This is the second major pillar of the B-52J upgrade, and it represents a massive leap in lethality. The APQ-188 is an active electronically scanned array, or AESA, radar. Instead of a physical dish spinning around in the nose of the aircraft, an AESA radar consists of hundreds of solid-state transmit and receive modules. These tiny modules can instantly steer radar beams electronically in microseconds, scanning the sky and the ground simultaneously without moving a single physical part.
The Pentagon didn't build this radar from scratch. They took the highly proven AN/APG-79 radar, the exact same AESA system currently hunting targets for the Navy's FA-18 Super Hornets and EA-18G Growler electronic attack jets, and modified it to fit inside the cavernous nose of the Stratofortress. Why put a highly agile fighter jet's radar into a heavy bomber? because the B-52 is no longer just a carpet bomber dropping unguided gravity munitions on jungle targets. The B-52J is transitioning into the ultimate missile truck. In a modern war, a B-52 won't be flying directly over enemy surface-to-air missile batteries. It will be launching air-launched rapid response weapons or hypersonic attack cruise missiles from hundreds of miles away. To do that effectively, the bomber needs extreme high-resolution situational awareness. The new AESA radar allows the B-52J to detect enemy ships, ground convoys, and even hostile fighter jets at vastly greater ranges. It provides synthetic aperture radar mapping, generating high-definition picture-like radar images of the ground through heavy clouds, rain, and total darkness. Furthermore, AESA radars are inherently resistant to enemy jamming. If an adversary attempts to blind the B-52, the APQ-188 can instantly frequency hop across a massive spectrum, cutting through the electronic noise to maintain its target lock. The radar is so powerful, it even provides a secondary electronic warfare capability, allowing the B-52 to project focused beams of electromagnetic energy to blind incoming missiles or fry enemy communication nodes. Recently, in March 2026, the Air Force announced a pragmatic shift in the program. To keep costs under control and accelerate deployment, they scaled back the requirement for a totally redesigned nose cone radome. Instead, they are pushing forward with a minimum viable product strategy, integrating the cutting-edge AESA radar behind the legacy radome to ensure the B-52J hits the flight line faster. This ensures while the cosmetics remain largely the same, the sensor suite underneath is strictly fifth generation. To truly grasp the devastating potential of the B-52J, we must look at how the Air Force intends to use it tactically. We talk a lot on this channel about the high-tech invisible assassins like the F-35 and the upcoming B-21 Raider, but stealth aircraft have a critical, unavoidable limitation: payload capacity. To remain invisible to enemy radar, they must carry all their weapons internally. An F-35 can only carry a handful of missiles. A B-21 Raider will prioritize deep penetration strikes with highly specialized munitions. This is where the B-52J fundamentally alters the combat geometry. Let's look at a tactical scenario closely aligned with the doctrines of Operation Epic Fury, a massive multi-domain suppression strike against a near-peer adversary. Imagine a heavily fortified coastline guarded by highly advanced S-400 and S-500 surface-to-air missile systems. The airspace is completely denied. A flight of F-35 Lightnings silently penetrates the outer perimeter. They use their passive sensors to map the exact locations of the enemy air defense radars. But the F-35s don't fire. They don't have enough internal missiles to take out the entire grid. Instead, using secure, low probability of intercept data links, the F-35s silently beam the target coordinates back 500 miles.
Waiting out of range, loitering safely over the ocean thanks to the massive fuel efficiency of its new Rolls-Royce engines is a flight of B-52Js. Acting as the ultimate arsenal ships, the B-52s receive the targeting data directly into their upgraded digital mission computers. The navigators use their new high-definition touchscreens to instantly assign coordinates to a massive payload of extended-range standoff cruise missiles. A single B-52J can carry 20 of these stealthy cruise missiles. A flight of 4 bombers unleashes a synchronized swarm of 80 autonomous, terrain-following cruise missiles. The B-52Js then simply bank away and fly home. The enemy air defenses are suddenly overwhelmed by a massive wave of incoming ordnance that appeared from nowhere, directed by invisible F-35s and fired by 70-year-old bombers sitting safely hundreds of miles away. This is the ultimate shoot-and-scoot lethality of the B-52J. It isn't trying to dogfight. It isn't trying to hide from radar. It is acting as an infinite magazine for the rest of the Air Force. When you combine the F-130 engine's unmatched reliability, the APQ-188 AESA radar's targeting fidelity, and the Stratofortress's 70,000-pound payload, you create a weapon system that no adversary can ignore. The B-52 was originally designed to drop gravity bombs on the Soviet Union in 1955. In 2026, it is being reborn to launch hypersonic missiles across the Pacific. It is the definition of American industrial staying power. The B-52 commercial engine replacement program is not just an upgrade, it is an aerospace resurrection. At a cost of nearly $50 billion over its life cycle, the transition from the B-52H to the B-52J ensures that the United States will retain a heavy, versatile, long-range strike capability well into the 2050s. By the time the final B-52 is retired, the aircraft will have served for an unprecedented 100 years. The pilots who will fly the Stratofortress in 2050 will be the great-grandchildren of the men who flew them during the Cuban Missile Crisis. It is a testament to the fact that sometimes the ultimate military advantage isn't a fundamentally new design, but taking an unbreakable airframe and packing it with the most advanced digital technology the 21st century has to offer. The F-130 engine and the Super Hornet AESA radar have officially guaranteed that the big ugly fat fella isn't going anywhere anytime soon. What is your tactical assessment? Does the $50 billion price tag to upgrade a 70-year-old aircraft make strategic sense, or should the Pentagon scrap the B-52 entirely and put all that funding into building a massive, accelerated fleet of stealthy B-21 Raiders? Let us know your analysis in the comments below. If you want the hard facts on the engineering and weapon systems dominating the modern battle space, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. This is Global Strike Metrics, and we will see you in the next briefing.